Mr. Speaker, let me begin my closing remarks for this second meeting of the first session of this ninth Parliament with a quote from K. Kujo, who wrote on the role of minority in our democracy. Mr. Speaker, this is what this writer had to say about democracy. Quote, "The true measure of democracy isn't the muzzle of the majority, it's the backbone of the minority. When power grows too comfortable, even a minority of one must rise. Their role is not to decorate debate, but to disrupt decay. They are not seat fillers. They are the guardrail of the republic. Every bold promise must be tested. Every flashy decision must answer to the people. Ghana is done with hollow rhetoric. The new citizen is alert, informed, and allergic to excuses. The minority may be few, but their mandate is undiminished. Ghana still expects them to deliver." End quote. Mr. Speaker, with this, the minority in this House feels inspired to continue its work and to deliver on this mandate of the people. Mr. Speaker, and we do so with a deep spirit of responsibility, reflecting on the significant development that have taken place both within the walls of this Parliament and in the broader governance space of our republic. Parliamentary business is often complex, but critical to the sustenance of our democracy. And this meeting undoubtedly has been marked by various events that have tested the strength of our democratic resolve. Mr. Speaker, in delivering these remarks, permit me to pay a solemn tribute to our dear colleague and patriot, the late Honorable N.S. Yakumi, Member of Parliament for Akwatia, who sadly passed away on 7 July 2025. His untimely departure is not only a personal loss to those of us who knew and worked with him, but a national tragedy that has robbed this House of a vibrant, promising legislator. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Mr. Speaker, in course of this session, the minority acted with a deep sense of responsibility and urgency. We've carried the burdens of our people, raised their concerns on this floor, kept alive the flickering flame of democratic accountability. Mr. Speaker, the Constitution enjoins Parliament not merely to legislate, but to scrutinize, to question, and to ensure accountability in the use of public resources. Over the course of this meeting, the minority has been steadfast in holding the executive to account. We demonstrated with clarity that power is not a license for impunity. The clarity that Parliament must not be reduced to a rubber stamp. And the clarity that where the majority falters, it is the minority that must stand firm and speak the truth, regardless of the cost. We in the minority have not shirked that responsibility. In this meeting, we filed several urgent questions to ministers to demand answers on pressing issues affecting the daily lives of Ghanaians. Answers about the cost of living, answers about the state of our hospitals, about the collapse of local industries, about the pain of ordinary Ghanaian citizens whose dreams have been battered by a government that is increasingly distancing itself from the private sector. Again, Mr. Speaker, in this chamber today, we have a newly elected Member of Parliament for Ablekuma North. But we all know the event that led to this eventual election. The minority hereby reiterates its stand against the Electoral Commission for the sudden U-turn that robbed Honorable Akure-Friye of her deserving victory. That said, We also say that the event that eventually brought our respected colleague into this chamber must not be glossed over. The violence and the misconduct that made that rerun in Ablekuma North sadly bears the stain of electoral violence, and that stain cannot be ignored. The intimidation, aggression, and brazen violation of the laws that we witness have no place in our democracy. To the newly sworn-in MP, we say this: your first test is before you. Demand justice. Call for accountability. Work to ensure that no political affiliation shields anyone from prosecution. Send a clear, unambiguous message that Ablekuma North will not be a haven for political violence. Defend the democracy that brought you here by demonstrating zero tolerance for political violence.
Hold on, let's finish. Let me now invite the Majority Leader. Honorable Deputy Majority Leader. Honorable Deputy Majority Leader. Yes. Let's have the concluding comment, please.
Thank you.
Honorable members, let's listen to the.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to add my voice to what has been said.
Honorable members, please. Honorable members. Thank you, honorable members.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Charlie, Leader.
Honorable members, please. Yes, Deputy Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are not dying yet. But, Mr. Speaker, I would like to add my voice to what Minority Leader has just said and what others have said in terms of our sisters who have performed excellently in the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations that just took place in Morocco, and for bringing us back a medal, in this case a bronze. Today is a bronze, tomorrow we know it's silver, and then the day after it will be the gold. It will eventually happen. Mr. Speaker, but it tells you about if a country is serious about sport, what the country needs to do. And it's about targeted investment in the areas of sport that we want to excel. What the Queens have done, the Black Queens have done, is a clear evidence that if you do put in the targeted investment, you will get the result. And that is what has been demonstrated today. Mr. Speaker, as we are saying, this is something that we all have to celebrate as a nation. And I do agree with the Minority Leader that sports is actually one thing that brings people together. It brings communities together, it brings countries together, and it brings the world itself together. And we must do more in this area to make sure that we excel in sport. Mr. Speaker, especially when we focus on women's football, we are beginning to see the result. There are other women disciplines that we need to look at this as an example and invest our money there. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for Sport, for the job, Sport and Recreation, for the job that he's done so far and the results that we are getting. I would like to thank the team and all the people who work with the Black Queens to make today possible.